What's up and welcome back, everyone. Today we are talking about PJ trailers. This one in the background here specifically, we just custom ordered this trailer, and I'm going to tell you guys a little bit about what I think about PJ trailers, the buying process, and at the end of the video we're going to tell you exactly what this trailer cost us with all the options we have on it. So without further ado, let's get right into the video. Alright, so this is basically the trailer. Long story short, we needed a deck over trailer. This is going to be used for business stuff and it's going to be used for personal stuff as well, but we needed a deck over trailer because we have to put Colton's truck on it for drag racing, and our Towmaster here, the wheels on the truck don't fit between the wheel wells, so we needed a deck over trailer. That was kind of what we knew from the start and more or less the whole reason for buying the trailer. Now, with that said, we like to have the smallest trailer possible to move equipment because this is a under 26,000 pound combination setup with our pickup truck and this trailer. So that means we can move any piece of equipment we have without needing a Class A behind any of the pickup trucks. So that was one of the other requirements, was under Class A, move any piece of equipment, hold Colton's truck with the wider wheels on it. So that's why we got a deck over trailer of this length, because it's about as short as we can get with still fitting his truck. And that's why we got these ramps back here. These ramps alone were another $1,000 option, but the theory is we can pull Colton's truck up all the way forward, put the ramps up like this, and then pull the tires back on here so we have even weight distribution on the trailer. So that's why we spec the trailer like this. Deck over, it's an 18-foot deck, it's a 22-foot overall length, 18-foot deck with the 4-foot dove. With the ramps, these specific monster ramps they call them, optioned. That is why it's set up like this. We also got it painted white because it would match the pickup trucks that are pulling it, and that would look kind of cool, and nobody has a white trailer that I know of really. There's one other guy on Instagram I've seen, but definitely no one in the area has got a white trailer. And Colton's truck is white, so when you have a white truck pulling a white trailer and a white drag truck on the trailer, it looks pretty badass. So that's why we went with white. And that leads me to kind of more or less why we wanted to get, or decided to go with a PJ trailer, was the two reasons. Ordering a white trailer was super easy. It was just something they optioned, whereas with a lot of other companies, Towmaster specifically, I think was the only other company I was considering going with the trailer. They didn't really have any paint options, so I was kind of disappointed with that. Also, the second thing is PJ was one of the only people that I knew of or know of at the time that has ramps like these that we can pull the truck all the way on and then reverse load onto these ramps like this. I'm sure it could have been pretty easy to custom make a set, just put some plate on another set of ramps or something like that, and you know, voila, there you have your monster ramps. But I just wanted to be able to buy something and kind of be done with it. But as it always goes, one thing after the next, that is not the case. We bought this trailer, we went probably an hour and a half away to pick up this trailer at Pete's Trailer Sales in Rice Lake, Wisconsin, which not super pleased, I guess, with their service either, but that's a different story. Basically, we went to pick up this trailer, and then right after we had to head an hour and a half north to pick up a John Deere tractor to put on it and bring that back home. All in all, the trailer had about, by the end of that day, 100 miles put on it. 50 of those, well, I should say more like 30 of those, 40 of those were unloaded. The rest of it was loaded with the John Deere tractor. Turns out, as soon as we put the tractor on, the first thing we noticed, the wiring in this box is all different types of messed up. This actual, like, this was a cold weather harness, they call it, was actually cut, and it's actually like somewhere in here, it's actually cut in wires, like the metal wire exposed. Same with over here. I don't know if you guys can see that, but these wires are all types of like cut and chafed, and this whole thing inside is all messed up. So this got to be brought back for warranty as it sits now. But first thing right away, the trailer brakes didn't work, and we kind of messed around with what was all messed up in there and got them to work for the way back. So with that said, right away we had electrical issues. Right away within the first 100 miles we had like almost completely cut wires and things falling apart, trailer brakes not working. So right away there was a red flag. Also, literally every one of these stickers is loose and pretty much just peels right off like that. I had one of them over here blow off when I was just driving. The wind just blew it off, I guess. That seems to be pretty standard for PJ stickers, I don't know. But there, another disappointment. I noticed that right away when we stopped to get fuel. pretty much all the stickers are loose and just come right off. I mean, you can see here, I can literally just get my hand underneath it and it just comes right off. So every single one of those just comes right off pretty easily. It's just a matter of time before they'll all be gone. You can actually see here, like on this one, I don't know if you guys can see that or not, but I mean, you can see the dirt is getting underneath it because the water and dirt is just resting. I mean, it's not, there's nothing sticky about these. They come right off. So that bugs me. Another thing that bugs me here, this whole video is just gonna be like a rant of things I hate about this trailer, basically. I love it, but the quality of it is just piss poor. I love the setup, the design, how it all works. I would love it if it worked how it should work, but the quality and craftsmanship used for building this trailer was just piss poor. The paint was one of those things that I also didn't like. You can see here, I mean, there's just all kinds of areas that were missed with paint. A lot of these here are just wear areas, but there's spots like here, all this stuff was just like missed with paint. It just never got any paint on it, and that's how they sent it out. I can't imagine sending out a vehicle that just doesn't have paint on the back bumper or something like that. Like, how does that even work, you know? That doesn't make any sense. Another thing here where these springs go in, this is actually what looks like an acetylene torch cut or a plasma cut that somebody did by hand, probably a plasma cut, that somebody did by hand, and you can see it looks like they gave a monkey a plasma torch and told him to cut a hole that size. I mean, every single one of them is just, it looks absolutely retarded. The fact that that is something you would even send out at the end of the day is the biggest joke I've ever seen. Like, why wouldn't you just have a machine cut a 1 inch by 1 inch hole there instead of have some monkey with a plasma torch do it? And with that said, the next thing that's wrong with it is they had a monkey with a welder welding the thing. This spring actually doesn't really do anything right now because the piece that's supposed to be holding it on snapped off. I mean, you can see the weld just never penetrated and it literally just snapped off. There's actually paint where there's supposed to be weld. I mean, that's the weld there, you can see. And it's actually just all got paint in it. The one area they did get good paint was where it was supposed to be welded on. So this thing broke when we were loading the tractor. This is all within the first 100 miles too, guys. Within the first 100 miles. And this snapped, punched this light out, completely broke this light. It's probably in here somewhere, but it's completely shattered. And that's junk. And it's also been hitting this and scratching it up, denting it up. So this is all up here. Yeah, so there's just another example of you buy a brand new trailer, first 100 miles, you got stuff breaking and, well, you got welds breaking, and then you're really starting to question why you have a trailer that the welds are breaking on. So, next thing, as you can see, if you know anything about oil bath axles, is they're not supposed to look like that. That's what it should look like. You know, granted the trailer hasn't been washed yet and it's super dirty, but there's not supposed to be oil all over the wheels and tires. So that means the seal in this axle is already shot. This is the first 100 miles, guys. The first 100 miles. That seal is shot. Like, how is that even possible? How is that possible? Like, what is wrong? Just another sticker problem. So there's something else that's wrong with it. So far we've got the wiring up front. We've got the spring, the weld breaking in the back that punched out a tail light, and it's got crappy paint and just crappy welds all over the trailer. Like here. That's something you would send out? Are you kidding me? I can weld better with my eyes closed. Like, look at this. It's just terrible quality work. Just terrible. I mean, like here, this is just rusting here because the paint didn't do a good job because the weld is just crap. Lighting, welds breaking, crappy paint, stickers all flying off, literally every one of them, even the PJ ones up here. Axle leaking, brakes, electronics, everything kind of messed up here. And that is pretty much everything that is wrong with this trailer. Within the first 100, that's what I can't stress enough. Like, it's one thing, if you get a trailer and you put a couple thousand miles on it and you get some things here and there, that I understand. But the day of picking it up, within the first 100 miles, all of this stuff goes wrong, all at the same time. Also, didn't mention the spare doesn't stay tight, keeps loosening itself. You gotta stop like every 50 miles to retighten it. Don't get a spare mount on a PJ, they're junk. Alright, so here's the breakdown of the trailer. Basically, deck over 22 foot with monster ramps, panel hitch, white, zinc primed, got 8,000 pound axles, cold weather harness, under mount for the spare, the toolbox, and it's got LED lights. That's how it's been optioned. That came to $88.50. They had 5.5% sales tax. I'm in Minnesota, so I have to pay a difference of 6.8, so whatever the difference is there. And then I've got to pay a registration fee. But basically, at the end of the day, this trailer is going to cost about $9,300 for a brand new PJ, 22-foot deck over. That is essentially the breakdown of the trailer cost right there for a POS. No, I'm just kidding. It's all in all. No, I'm not gonna lie. It's not a really good trailer. It's pretty crappy, actually. I don't think I'd ever buy another one. So, with that said, thank you very much, PJ, for selling terrible products. Make sure you guys hit the like button and let me know in the comments below what you think of this trailer. And if you guys got sold a trailer like this, what would you do with it?